Hello, beautiful empowered vegans. Paige and I are back. So, yes, we're going to have another exciting conversation today. So, my name's Mariquita. Paige will be telling us all about her magnificent self. I'm a vegan empowerment coach, leader of animal ministry, a lot of things. So, I don't want to box myself in. I'm a human being who's going to have a conversation with Paige today, another lovely human being. So, please let us know where you're watching from. Give StreamYard permission to use your name. We want to hear your comments and questions. This is a hot topic, dating, whether we should date or not, pre-vegans. And I want to say pre-vegans because we have hope, and that's a term of hope. So, all right, y'all. I think that's all the basic sort of stuff. So, Paige, take it away. Tell us about who you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paige Parsons Roache. I am the co-host and co-producer of Plant Based in the Burbz. The name is up as well. So we are a lifestyle brand bringing you everything vegan and plant-based. I wanted to show you my really cool cork purse. So we're talking lifestyle. I also have Elf products, which are vegan. Make sure to check the label and check. And Lush, this is the Lush vegan stuff too. So just a few things I grabbed from my purse. But, lifestyle brand. We also have cooking shows on I dropped it. The Unchained TV free streaming network, which is available to all y'all, pre-vegans, vegans. There's a lot of great content on Unchained TV, including our Plant Based in the Burbz show. And I'm all about bringing sustainability to people's lifestyles. So I work in the bringing solutions. So bring these with you wherever you go. I also work in the compost space. I don't know if I mentioned that before to anybody out there, but I also am a huge proponent of plant-based treaty, and these guides are available for you to give to your friends, as well as I work with the Vegans of Los Angeles Food Bank with Gwenna Hunter. So those are a few things that I do. I work with Jane Velez Mitchell for 7 years, and it was amazing. And now I do special projects. So that's the streaming network. And this kind of sums me up. I am a climate foodie. I picked up the sticker at the Hollywood Climate Summit last year. And they also had some of these at, I forget where I got this, but Bestie's Vegan Marketplace is a marketplace here in Los Angeles where you can get all your vegan groceries. And they always have these really cool events. So I'm pretty sure I picked that up there. But anyway, climate foodie, that is definitely me. And some people say, like, why'd you go vegan? And I said, well, I watched Cowspiracy, The Sustainability Secret, and it kind of merged everything for me to just go, aha. And my daughter had gone vegan at 13. She's going to be 23 in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And then I thought, well, why is she so passionate about this veganism, with the animals? And then I started to just discover more, and I realized, oh my goodness, yeah, there's a lot of lies told to us. So y'all know what lies. If you're watching this and you're aware, many of you, like myself, had no idea. So the day before I went vegan, didn't really know a lot. Then I discovered, and I went, what? I don't know anyone out there that is vegan that doesn't go, what? I had no idea about the baby chicks. What? I had no idea. I thought they were cows that were just providing milk. They didn't realize they had to be artificially impregnated by human beings to become mamas so that I could get an ice cream cone and cheese and so forth. So I think we want to get on to our topic, our hot topic, though. I think what I want to do, though, real quickly is ask our viewers, what is it that you feel about this question that we're asking today? And I'll let you repeat the question, Rakita,
The
because
question is, yeah, to date, should we date pre-vegans or not? Should we just take them off the list, and just say, what are your eating styles or whatever? And then if they say, oh, well, I love fish, I love burgers, then okay, next. So I mean, a lot of people feel different ways, and there's shame from people that date um pre-vegans. I know a lot of friends are very embarrassed to say my husband or my wife is not, they feel responsible. So that's another thing, taking this on as we have to be responsible for others. But I mean, so yeah, so please let us know what you think. Would you be willing to date a pre-vegan? And what do you think about people that do? And here we got a comment. Here we got some comments. Susan, Myra, good day. I have a date this afternoon. Don't know yet what he eats. So perfect timing. Thanks for joining us. And Cassandra is here. She says she's watching from France and she loves Unchained TV. We do too. And we love Paige.
Yeah. So the question for me, for people is there's several categories of this, right? So there's people who have dated people who are pre-vegans and their experience, right? So maybe you have an experience that you want to share. So that would be something you could put in the chat. Even those on the replay, someone who is considering being in the dating field, or you're in the dating field and you're wondering, should I date a pre-vegan? Right? There's those friends. And then there are folks who have fully, engaged and gotten into a relationship with a pre-vegan, what that's like for you. And then there's someone like myself who has been married to a pre-vegan for almost 31 years, or together almost 31 years, and married almost 27 years. So what all those different ways to relate to our relationships with another, how do we navigate through the minutia of people's opinions, our own emotions, maybe our broken heart at times that we feel, or what do you do about when you're at a restaurant? How do you then navigate through dining with someone who's a pre-vegan? So let's take it over to you first, because I have a lot to say. And you all, please write your thoughts and comments. So,
here's a comment. There are eternal pre-vegans. Yes. This is something that's going to be out there for the ages. So let's address it. And everything's welcome. I mean, everyone has the right to the way they feel and the way they think. So as long as we're in a respectful, safe space, which we are in, then it's all wonderful. So I have some feelings. I feel many times I have to put myself in check. Now, I'm not perfect, right? Of course. I wanted to say that right away. I'm perfectly imperfect. So, with a pre-vegan boyfriend, it can be very frustrating. And I'll be like, and and I hope he's not watching, but if he's watching, he knows. He might have some cream because that's all there's available. And I'll be like, go, and it, and it's like, don't you know? And here we go again. And many times I can't stop myself. I work on stopping myself from just being this person that's like, don't you know about the baby cows? Don't you know about the baby cows? Don't you know, because he knows, right? So for me, and that's very annoying to him, for me to just continually say that. And that's, in a way, it's debilitating. It's stopping what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a vegan light, and that's a vegan tyrant, and so like really controlling, right? And so I'm sure he would say that I can be controlling. So I'm sure I am controlling, right? I'm a human being. Like I said, I'm not perfect. So it's very challenging. And luckily, I have plenty of opportunities to practice. Not just on him. So, but even other friends when I go out to eat, right? When I went with my friend a few weeks ago to eat gyros, right? And so I had a veggie gyro, and of course, then here we are with lamb, and I'm like gulping, oh gosh, So it's very challenging to do that, and but yet, because I was able to sit with my friend there, he's now reading the China study. So, there's some balance here, right? If I had said, I don't want to be with you, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, he would not be reading the China study. He wouldn't know what he knows about plant-based eating. He wouldn't have told me, listen, if they can make food, in the factories, meats in the factories, then I would eat it because I really like eating meat, but I don't want to give it up. But if they're able to make it without hurting animals, then yes. So I'm able to hear this, and because I do have pre-vegan friends and pre-vegan boyfriend, and my I'm I really want to not judge people, you
Hmm.
know. That's
Yeah.
something in my soul, and I have to put myself in check,
Yeah.
because again, I'm not perfect and I don't want to be judged by others. So that's my 2 cents or 3 cents.
Oh my gosh, so much there. Well, first of all, what I have realized, this is so good. All y'all, right?
Hmm.
So many things you said that just like one thing I learned a while back, not too long ago, actually, maybe 15, 20 years ago. We all judge each other. It's part of how we relate to one another. So once judging became a bad word somewhere, like judging each other. Well, that's what we do. We check each other out. We see if we're safe. Do they have, what I want? Do I have what they might want? Are we going to find ways to collaborate with each other in our vibe? So once I learned that, oh my gosh, and I've taught my kids this early on, you are not everybody's vegan ice cream flavor. You are not going to be. You might be rainbow and they love chocolate. So just know you're not going to be everyone's favorite, but being kind. And I will say, as a kid, I definitely, it's taken me through my adult life until recently for kind of, I'm grappling with this. I moved around a lot, so it was very important for me to be liked. So it was very essential that people like me. So when I got into the vegan movement, it was also important for people to like me. And then, so it filtered into my relationships, and I started to get very judgmental about relationships that I was in and am still currently in. And I want to say that because I realized that the judgment was not only hurting me, like the extra judgment, because we're already judging, but it was also hurting those around me as well. And at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to say, is that my health and well-being and my happiness is much more important. So how did I grapple with being married to someone who's pre-vegan still? Right?
Right.
So I was thinking about this today in the shower. I was getting ready, and I thought, if someone were to come to me and ask me for advice, if they were to say, should I date a pre-vegan? Right? So that would be anyone who's not vegan yet. I would say, trust your instincts and know you will have a broken heart on occasion. And it's not the kind of broken heart like a relationship broken heart, but it's the broken heart if you're a vegan for the animals, like you really get the pain of the animals and you really see the truth about what happens with the animals, right, to become food. And you know that reality, because some people are vegan and they don't go in on that. They are like vegan for their health. They had a health diagnoses. So they're like, I'm doing this for my health, and they may end up going back to eating fish or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know people like that. Celebrities have done that as well, right in their faces, right? And that's not personal. That's the other thing. But sometimes it can feel personal. So, for instance, there was a time, 2020, 19, and 20, where whenever my husband would leave to go to lunch, because now he was home, the door would close and I'd start screaming. Rah, 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 this and that, the chickens, the baby chicks, the eggs, the dairy, the this and that. And sometimes I would even, if I knew he was upstairs, I might shout out certain things or turn up an interview with Jane Velez Mitchell even louder or something to just kind of be like, get this information in you. And we even went to therapy. So I'm being completely transparent because I realize I'm fighting so hard to free these animals and you're out eating them. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to be completely honest. Somewhere in the process of 2 years, we decided that we're dating again. So we started dating again, doing fun things together, like really calling them dates, going out together, playing pickleball, bike riding, going for long hikes and walks, driving up to San Luis Obispo to see our daughter in college the last 4 years, spending the weekend up there. And he's respectful to me in that when we're together, he says, out of respect for you, I will eat with you only the vegan plant-based foods. So I will not eat, he doesn't say animals, but he will not eat non-vegan food with me. And we've established that. And it's very respectful. Have there been times when we've been with other people and I happen to glance over and I see, does that break my heart? Yes. I'm going to be honest. Do I get upset? There's a moment of upset. I'm not going to lie. Have I learned to manage that? Yes. Do I get mad at him and try to beat him up in some way, like get aggressive in my words or something? No, because I realized that anger and upset was upsetting me and perhaps even making me sick. Like there's that possibility. And I was the one that was suffering in this. He's not going to change for me. And I get that. People don't change for someone. They might consider what you're sharing, see how it, this is what I feel, see how it fits for them, and then they decide, is it worth it for them? So I've met people who are like, guys, this happens a lot with guys. They're like, I was vegan. I was with a girlfriend. I went vegan for my girlfriend. And I was like, tell me more about that. We were together for like 6 months. Yeah. And then, and I'm like, what happened? He goes, well, we're not dating anymore. Wow. Okay. So people, I feel, make a true change only for themselves. And when they see what's in it for them, truly what's in it for them. Let's say somebody gets a health diagnosis and their doctor says, you need to go vegan, you need to go plant-based, you need to drop the animals. It's adding to your diagnoses, your sickness. I feel those people then make that change. Do they go all in and discover what's up with the animals and so forth and the truth? I don't know. Some do, some don't. Actually, there are a lot that have, because that speak about it, that we see out in the world speaking, writing books and sharing their testimonials and so forth. So I'm not going to lie, your heart will be broken, and not just once or twice or 3 times. And it's not because the relationship, it's because if you are in it for the animals and you know that someone you care very deeply about is doing something that's against what you are fighting for, it does hurt. It hurts a lot. Can you be a stronger person in it? And is it worth it? Is the relationship worth it? Because for me, I looked at, I've only been vegan for 8 years. Prior to that, my husband and I had a full life of eating animals. We'd go anywhere we wanted. So at one point, I will say one more thing that I really want to give it back to you, and there's some conversations in here. One point, I started bawling, crying. It was his birthday weekend. And we were in a place that there were not a lot of vegan options. And the vegan options were like junk food vegan. I'm really not a junk food vegan. I sometimes, but mostly I would try to eat as much plant-based whole foods, as much as I can. So I look for things that are mostly that, right? When I'm out to eat, things like that, mind you. And I just started crying and I said, I know I changed the game on you. Like sometimes I think it's just easier not to be vegan.
Oh,
it's easier not to be vegan, to not know the truth.
yes.
It was so much easier to be, ignorance is bliss, right? Am I happier being a vegan person, like more settled in my soul and my mindset? You better bet. Because I've always been a spiritual person, at least for the last 30 years and 30 plus spiritual. And when I thought about that, I was ingesting the dynamics, the energy of the dead animals and the secretions of the cows of the mother milk when they're mourning their babies that we don't give, that we take away. Like, what? That blew me away. So spiritually, I am way more calm, settled, and peaceful in my choices. And I know I'm doing the right thing for history. I really feel it. But was it easier and more convenient, perhaps? Like in general, like if you travel, I would say sometimes it does feel like that. And yet I've created a really full life. So I don't feel like anything's missing now. When we travel, there are things that come up. It becomes more challenging. I will say that.
Well, I love that. I love your vulnerability and courage for sharing. And I love what you brought up about the heartache. So when we look at relationships, whoever we date, there's going to be heartache, So, but knowing ahead of time, I mean, we know that this is going to be a heartache, actually prepares us better, and we can balance, like, is this person really worth it? So I'll talk about my boyfriend. Like, he's very an earthy guy, very grounded in the earth. He is very laid. I mean, he's laid back when it comes to, accepting me, who's very quirky. I mean, he's not the typical, I mean, he is not the typical guy, right? And that's really what I was looking for. And so in that aspect, would I date him again? Yes, because I mean, whether he was pre-vegan or not, because he really does try to be pre-vegan with me, right? He's not perfect, and I know he struggles just like we all do, and I really want to have compassion for him. So anybody we date is going to have things that hurt us. So it's not just the vegan. So, I mean, once we know that when we enter relationships, just like the Dalai Lama says, we know that life is going to be filled with ups and downs and sad and, fights and this and that. That's part of life, and we can be better prepared. So it's really knowing the person and, are they very respectful of you? Are they kind? I mean, all this is balancing out, so if we're just, I don't know. I'm going to stop there. Now, if you want to say some more, and then we can go to the comments or whatever you want to do, Paige, go ahead.
I think what you brought up is such a good point. When we got married, our reverend said, and if you want to look him up, he's pretty famous now. He wasn't so much then. Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape Spiritual Center. The Spiritual Center, it's in Los Angeles area. He's written multiple books. He's got songs. He's got all kinds of beautiful offerings and meditations and so forth. When he married us almost 27 years ago, we've been together almost 31. He said, and it stuck out. We always listen to this around our anniversary. We put in the VHS tape, and now it's a DVD. But he said, welcome the changes in each other. Welcome them. Encourage them. I think a lot of times what happens in marriages is that the other person maybe starts doing something that, if they start evolving in the relationship, maybe they go vegan, and the other person's like, what? And they don't have space for that change. Or somebody starts taking on a hobby and they're out 3 nights a week playing pickleball, right? And the other person's like, well, why aren't you spending more time with me? But that person is lit up. They're, exercising. They've lost 20 pounds. They've got new friends. They're having fun. They're going out for social time with their girlfriends and friends or whatever, right? All that. So welcoming the change in others. So that also brings me to accepting the heartache that there is going to be. And that's with any relationship, right? I mean, I have girlfriends that we have been down it. Like, we've gotten into it. All my really closest friends, there's been something along the way. There's been, something that happens that we disagree, and then we get into it. Maybe we take a short break, then we come back, and we're stronger because of it. So I love that part that you brought up. It's not just the vegan heartbreak. Like, if someone goes out and eats animals and you're vegan, it makes you sad because you're dating someone who's a pre-vegan, but also just acknowledging that you may have heartache and heartbreak along the way, and trust yourself that you're strong enough to get through it. There are support groups. There's a wonderful support group that's a Zoom. So if anybody wants, I'll give you it's through Lisa Levinson and Spiritual Vegans, I think it's called. And you can drop in anytime and talk about your sadness. You can talk about it. I drop into Movement Mondays with Climate Healers, which is a Zoom on Mondays. There's 2 times. You can jump in there and ask questions and get support. There's lots of great therapists who will listen, to what you're going through, what you're grappling with. So I think acceptance is a big part of it, and realizing what you're worth. So speaking up and sharing that it hurts, it makes you sad to sit with someone while they're eating animals. That's a really gentle way to say it. I feel sad when I sit with you and eat animals. Let's meet for a drink. So don't meet that person for a meal if you're just starting to date someone and you're getting to know them. That's too hard on your soul and your heart. Meet them at a museum. Go for a walk. Meet at a park. Let's hang out at a park. I'll bring snacks. And you can bring bread, vegan, bread, baguette, and some vegan cheese. And, if they're allergic to nuts, they'll tell you so you can, discover that together. Bring options. So I think we take it on ourselves to be responsible for how we feel, because no one can make you feel a certain way. Yes, they can yell at you. They can say mean things to you. How you take it is on you, truly on you. And do you get emotional? Do you laugh it off? Do you go, wow, they were having a really bad day? Or what did they mean by that? Do you dig a little deeper, or do you just be like, that's just them? There's lots of ways we can handle things that are coming at us or that we're grappling with. I hope that makes sense. I kind of went off on a tangent, but back to you.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, when we know that it's coming. Do we get our emotional toolbox ready, right? We know, what are we going to do if we, when these situations happen? As a coach, that's what I work with my clients. We know it's coming. So how are we going to get you ready for that? Building your boundaries, building your voice so you can speak up for yourself, right? Building your self-care. All these are so important. And being able to speak up like you're saying and say, hey, this hurts me. If it really, if of course, if it really hurts, but I'm saying, if you really want to say, can we do this a different way? And that's how you see that's going to be how you, and that's important. That's going to be how you see what this person is really like. Are they willing to care for your feelings, right? Are they willing to listen? So that's perfect for dating. And this is perfect for dating someone pre-vegan. Is he or she going to care about your feelings? Is he or she going to laugh? Or they might laugh out of ignorance. Okay. And so once you explain more, no, this really hurts me. What will their response be? This is a great test, to know this compassion level inside that person. So,
Something you just said, I want to say, I think it's really essential that you literally say to people, I'm not trying to get you to go vegan, just so you know, so we can get that off the table right now. I'm vegan. I'm not going to try to get you to go vegan. Say that. Just say it. Even though you want them to go vegan, you're not going to try to get them to go vegan.
Exactly.
You're not going to try to push them into being vegan. That's not you would hope that they could see the truth and choose for themselves. So I think if you say that right off the bat, you're like, don't worry about it. But I would like to share things I went to this great vegan restaurant. Oh my gosh, I learned something new about cows and pus and milk. Isn't that crazy? Because then you maybe, oh, I just got it. You're asking permission. Maybe you even say that. Do I have permission to share things I'm learning along the way? Just like you're going to share with me how you love jazz and how you went to this jazz bar or whatever their interest is, right? So it's like that love exchange of information that you're passionate about. We're passionate about veganism. We're passionate about what we learn every day. I literally journey every day into some new information. I find out some new facts about protein. And I'm like, this is so fascinating. I showed this to my husband the other day. I was like, I couldn't believe this. Look at this. Where do you get your protein? Like, look how cool this is, honey. These are all the really cool ways you can get protein. And, wow, let's add some more of this in here. It's like, I've been vegan, but do I add enough quinoa? My husband loves quinoa. I'm like, oh, cool. So in other words, if you just take getting them to go vegan off the table, I think it breathe things up and you get it out in the open and you say it. Because right. And then if they eat, like my husband will be like, oh my gosh, did you know? He tells me all the information about veganism. The stuff that he sees on regular TV, I don't really watch. Did you see the report? Chef Babette was on the morning news. Chef Babette. There's something about do you know the Gentle Barn, honey? Oh my gosh, did you see that the cows were running free in the streets? I'm like, this is cool. He's like my news reporter gives me the scoop on the local news. And it's crazy. He's like, Beyond Meat. We have stock in Beyond Meat. I gave him the info and I was like, babe, did you see there's info on new Beyond Meat about, what the new Beyond Meat has? Avocado oil in it, 65% less saturated fats. That's going to help our stocks.
I love it. I love that. And so when you say, I'm not going to make you vegan, you just took all the pressure off, probably because this person is like, oh my gosh, what am I getting into? Right? Here's a crazy vegan. We want to take that off. Hey, I'm not going to do that. So we can all breathe. That takes the pressure, not off of just them, but off of you, right?
Yeah.
We're taking the pressure off of everyone here.
Not our jobs to make people go vegan. Y'all, guess what? Somewhere in there, we think we're responsible for making everybody around us go vegan. No, you're off the hook on that. You don't have that assignment anymore.
Oh my God.
We can breathe easier. It's not our job to make everyone around us vegan. It's not. How about we're here to share information that we learned that gave us awareness such that we made choices. And I'm all about getting more plants on people's plates and into their lifestyles. Hey, check out my cool purse. Rather than cow leather, right? It's cork. Better for the planet. And they're like, better for the planet. I'm like, oh my gosh, can you believe the cow? Because a lot of people think that skins of cows come already from the food industry, but it's actually called they call it co-product. Cows are being raised to use the leather, to use the skin of them. It's not leather. We call it leather. So it's like, when I learned that, there's a great organization called Fake. There's several of them about fashion. So it's Fashion and the Environment Awareness, FAKE, and there's also Collective Fashion Justice. So you can learn more information and facts and stuff like that. But okay, we should go to some of these comments. There's a lot of people writing stuff.
All right, we got one right here from Cassandra. I was married several times many years ago. All my husbands went directly vegetarian when they heard about the horrible animal abuse, but my son is not able to change, but he saves the animals with me. I love that. And I love Cassandra's journey. She's really come a long way, just like we all have, right? From the start when we were just like, come on. But, taking the chill pill and like, let's allow, and let's have some breathing. And then, so yes, she has really come a long way, and I love her. She's beautiful, and I'm honored that she's here with us. And everything her son is doing, let's celebrate that.
By the way, my son is not vegan. When we go to visit him in Portland, we go to vegan restaurants, and I make vegan food whenever they come around. So Thanksgiving was a full vegan meal with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's parents, and the uncle. So we had, 12 people with 3 vegans at the table on Thanksgiving.
Beautiful. I love that.
Listen, delicious food was served.
I bet it was. Next time I'm coming. All right, here's another comment. In a relationship for 30 years, they went vegan together, but he still occasionally eats prepared meals from his family that are not vegan. The key point for me is the belief and understanding that we will not do this except for him in the occasional situation. I think the question for us, what is triggering? If a person lives compassionately as a rule and does not defend being pre-vegan, we manage well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, there's a lot of wisdom here.
Yes.
So, let's see here. Here's another comment by Cassandra. Some days ago, I heard behind the doors that my doctor is a hunter. Now I lost complete confidence.
I've never even thought about that. Are my doctors vegan? Probably
No,
not.
it reminds me of what Linda Middlesworth said to her vet. She was having a live stream with JJ from Vegan Knowledge, and she was saying, she said to her vet, well, you're the first vet, or something like this. You're the first vet that I've met that eats his patients, eats their patients. So,
I went into the doctor recently just for a little checkup, and they said, do you have any added allergies? And I realized I had added a few things there back in the day, and I said, all animal products. And I'm allergic because I have a reaction. If know that there would be any kind of non-animal or non-vegan product put in my body in any which way or anything like that? Hell no. So I'm going to have a reaction. Allergy, my body's going to react, y'all. I haven't had dairy or any kind of casein or gelatin, or I don't even know what they use in the medical field, but I like, yeah, no. So it's good that we're clear about speaking to, but yeah, the hunter situation, I might get a new doctor if I knew. So much I don't know.
It's hard. I mean, yeah, we have to ultimately do what, we have to take care of our own hearts. So whatever feels best for us is what we have to do.
I mean,
you
felt like you wanted to say something to your doctor who's a hunter. I mean, you might find a really kind way to put it.
That's very true.
We have such extinction with animals now. I just can't believe it. And people out there hunting, it's just so sad. There's no need for it. I mean, are these people eating these animals that they're hunting? I mean, you can almost, I don't know. It's up to you, but there's ways.
Yeah. Well, we're going to send you to France, Paige, to take on the doctor. So, oh my gosh, too funny. But yeah, we'll just, do what you feel right doing. All right, so here we got another one. Yes, the heartache being triggered is the key. It really applies to all of our relationships and actions. Most vegans live with their guard up almost 24/7. How much of that guarded feeling are we able to tolerate in our relationships, and how do we deal with accepting the heartache is what determines our tolerance level. Yeah, amen. And it's different for everyone. Like there's there's just not one, answer that here's the solution for everything, right? It's about feeling your own body, right? I mean, listening to what your body is telling you. A lot of times our body's giving us a signal, no, 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 but we're not listening, right? So allowing, being very gentle to ourselves and gentle to others. And gentleness to others could be ending a relationship that's hurting both of you, So gentleness to others shows up in many forms.
Very good points. Oh my gosh. And I love this because we're talking about any relationship, and before you went vegan, the people that weren't vegan, that are still not vegan, are still perhaps either in your life or not. So yeah, how to navigate any relationship that's, once you go vegan, your family, your dear friends, we want the best for them, and we see the health benefits. So we want them to see those health benefits as well. I believe that's true. Plus, like we were talking about on a spiritual level, and then if we're talking about the future of our planet, which is a lot where I've come from, being that climate foodie vegan that I am, I want to plan it for my kids and the grandkids and all the future generations, a healthy, thriving, planet. So yeah.
Exactly. Mother Earth deserves that, right? All right, let's see. Here we got another one. Everything Paige is saying is so true about the approach to speaking with pre-vegans. The key is to have a positive vegan support system that uplifts you so that you can tolerate being around pre-vegans without always being about to unleash our pain. Yeah, I mean, it's so true. The support system, yeah, we have to have that. Very true. I mean, because when we feel sad, we reach out to each other. When we feel sad and alone and we don't have anyone, it just gets worse. So we have to set that up in advance, right? What do we need for us to be able to be resilient? Friends, 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 friends. So, because we know that we're going to be crashing into waves. And so what are we going to take in our, our emotional little toolbox, right? When we crash into this wave, I've got Paige in there. Let me call her up.
You know what? I have a friend. Her name is Renee, and we are SOS friends for each other. So we literally have called each other in moments of crises where she's at work. She walks in and there's just dead animals everywhere. And she's like, she calls me from the office. Okay, I'm calling you, like almost like, can I just be with you for a minute? Like, help me breathe. Like, yes. And one time we were visiting family back east, and it was like dead animals at a funeral, just. And I was like, I'm walk outside. I can't sit around and watch this. I just can't. And then I went back in after the meals after everyone was chewing and eating, and I was able to calmly be with people, So I think it's something about that for me that's triggering the consumption of it, and the smell and that.
Yeah. I mean, it's yes. It's
Yeah.
hard. You're right. I mean, and again, everyone has to make the decision right for them, right? So whatever you are able to tolerate in peacefulness and yeah.
And
So
unleashing. We need to have ways to unleash for sure. And that's why we turn to our vegan friends. So find some vegan support. If you need help, we have, if you need support in finding that, there are lots of groups and tribes and ways you can get involved with people via Zoom. So no matter where you are in the world, you just might have to get up early. If you're in France, it might be 2 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever. But work it out.
right. And also if you want to go get a punching bag and some boxing gloves, punch it out, right? Run it off. Do what you need to do. Go out there and play pickleball it off. Release that energy, right? Let it go. Here it is, that anger. Oh my gosh, I see you anger. You're green and you're foaming, right? Well, get out of here. Right?
Yeah, my anger's red usually. It's like super red or purple. Get it out.
Get it out. Right. I love it.
A peaceful candle, brings a peaceful vibe, like some sage.
And the deep breathing, right? Breathe deeply. I mean, smile. When you smile, your body releases the calming something. I can't remember right now, but calming to make you calm, whatever it is. But so yeah, smiling, laughing, that's very healing for your body. Fake it, even put on some Sesame Street if they still, and be silly, right? Cry, because the tears from crying are different from the tears from onions. So I mean, that really helps release stress too. So so let's see, what have we got here?
You're nervous about, like, in your home. The car is a great place. I go to the park. I go out of the car, in the park, and I look around. There's no one. I'm like, ah! Or I'll turn on the music really loud. I mean, I dance in the car all the time. I don't care who's looking, but I used to, So I put on the music in the car, kind of move around and do this kind of thing or whatever. I dance at home. But if I need to scream,
Right,
then and anybody's home, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go in my car.
right.
The crying I can do in the pillow, if I know TV's on or something, but the screaming, yeah, crying in the shower too, that does help a lot because it's like, ooh,
Right. Yeah. And take a bath, a warm bath. That's what they used to do to I think the people in the mental hospital asylums, right? So sometimes I feel like one of those people, like, get me the warm bath.
Oh my gosh, I take a lot of warm baths. That is classic. But it does, your somatic nervous system calms, your endorphins kick in, versus that adrenaline, the fight or flight, find places to find the peace, your center, to return to a peaceful place where you can then, rather than being reactionary, you're thinking through how you will act, situations. Prepare yourself. If I'm going to go to a family experience, I'm going to prepare myself. There may be dead animals there. What am I going to do about that? How am I going to be? Where am I going to go? And a shout out to when we were in Portland for Christmas, my son's girlfriend and family, we went for Christmas Eve, and they have a tradition in their heritage, and they make tamales, and they roast and cook and stew pig like all day the week before. It's a whole thing. And they were nervous about how it was going to be for me. And it was intense, but they had these poppers, chili poppers with vegan Violife cheese on there. They made specifically for us, but everyone was eating them. And Light Life bacon, so good. I need to make those. So delicious. And then they had vegan tamales, vegetarian, with no cheese in them, just all veggies. People were eating them and stuff. And it was wonderful. We focused on the fun, the stories, and my daughter's has a way easier time navigating. It breaks her heart. She cries on a daily basis, I imagine. But she's 23, vegan is going to be going to veterinarian school, and it ain't easy. She does not have one fully vegan friend. She has vegetarian friends, and she doesn't have a vegan friend. So we'll see. She's figuring out how to be in a non-vegan world. She's already figured it out. She figured it out day one. She figured it out day one. I'm the one that, like, woo, but we can lean on each other.
Yes, we have to lean on each other. You're exactly right. And lean on ourselves, right? We have to, if nobody's around, then hug yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. Like sometimes we went mining for gemstones for rose quartz. And so I had a little rose quartz. I had it in the sun and I felt so sad. And so I put it down in my shirt and I put it in my heart, and I just held that energy of that rose quartz, and acknowledged that my heart hurt. Right. And we would have, and it's just doing these little things that's so, people might say it's silly, but whatever, whatever, it's beautiful. I think when we can have compassion and that inner child, that one that's hurting and crying for the animals, we have to know, my inner child is Tita, because I was always, well, I still am called Tita, but like little Tita was hurting, and I love you, little Tita. Thank you for your beautiful heart. Right. So, saying that to myself, I acknowledge and I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, someone says here, Mariquita is an SOS person I refer vegans to frequently, as often the pain that other vegans are suffering becomes too much for me to handle. Yes, I get that. I have had vegans get furious with me for discussing a lot of the things you both are trying to teach people. Yes, I get that. I definitely, your breaking point, your boundary, and we need to be strong to set our own personal boundaries. If you can't take that phone call right now from the friend that is challenged, don't pick up the phone. If it's going to make you late, or you're already in your own processes, or you're working, or you're doing something, send a text message, somehow get a message saying, I love you, I care for you, I'm available at 6:00, or can we do this tomorrow? I'm all yours. I think communicating clearly and being someone who sets the boundaries, you teach others to be a boundary setter as well. So, because we can kind of get trauma bonders, or I'm sad that person got furious with you. I'm sorry that it's sad.
And it's very true. I mean, I know that people get furious with me. It's when I say people are on their own journey. We can't pressure people. They say, what are you talking about? The world is, they have to do it. The animals are suffering, right? I can't be happy. Why are you telling me you can still smile? I can't smile. Why are you saying that? How can you still be happy? Right? And they get angry. And that's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. These are people that are hurt. And it's just, again, like those are people that are not ready to see a new way, just like the pre-vegans who are not ready to see a new way, right? They're really attached to this way of shaming people into it, right? They don't want to hear what we're saying because they're not ready. So what can we do with them? We have to allow them to be ready also. We have to have that same compassion. We can't force them to. You've got to listen to me and Paige, and you have to believe everything we're saying. I mean, again, it's not up to us. And yes, it's hard. I mean, it's a challenge it's really building our character to be able to accept people where they are at.
I mean, back to like what I said, you're off the hook, like you don't, and that's not the way to put it. So let's not do that. When I said it's not your job to get people to go vegan, I'm not saying release yourself of what you're passionate about to make a difference with somebody else to go vegan. It's very different, because I feel like we are letting the animals down if we don't force people to go vegan. We don't force people to see the truth. I really think that's part of what I was believing. I was going to be letting down the animals. And if I stayed in this relationship, if I you know, if I eat with friends that are eating animals.
Right. And if you don't take a break, right, you can't be happy. You can't be happy, Paige, because every animal is suffering. How can you smile? How can you go on? You can't take a break. There's no time for breaks. So just drive yourself into the ground. This is impossible.
We really do set ourselves up for a lose-lose situation with that mindset. And I did it. I was running myself to the ground. Yep. And with the quarantine and the lockdown, yeah, I had some real revelations about my life. And I realized what was really important is my husband and my two children, that we built a life together. The core four. That's the most important. Let me figure out how to get along with these four people, the three people, and myself. And because those are the most important. If everybody else was gone, it was just the four of us together. How would we survive living together? How would this work? I mean, I broke it down to that. It was like, okay. And then I went from there, the four. Now we're talking about my brothers, two brothers, my brother's family. How do I navigate that? They're very important to me. Then I went to friends. Then we talked about my husband and his family. Very important, but I haven't seen them in years. We're going this summer. I got new resilience to be able to navigate through what that's going to look like. They'll probably go crabbing. I'm going to go to a vegan space.
Beautiful. Probably. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. You're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, set ourselves up for, I might even create some kind of an activism situation, which I've been known to do. That might happen.
So I love that, because you're taking a situation that could be debilitating and you're saying, okay, I see this thing that could possibly knock me down, but I'm not going to let it. What I'm going to do is take the energy that I might spend crying all afternoon and channel that into activism, or something to stand tall in your voice and power. So I love that, Paige. Thank you for sharing that.
Super Bowl Sunday. I was like, there's going to be, I found out it's like 750 million chickens are killed for the wings. So I didn't even see that fact, but I knew I needed to do something this year, because we've had Super Bowl parties and I've made all the food. And this year I said, what can I do? And I was like, I'm going to give food out in front of a bar. And it's going to be from before the game, 12 to 2. And we had 40 people show up, vegans show up to do the activism. Totally created it out of nothing in 2 weeks. And we made it happen. And we gave out 100 hot dogs, vegan hot dogs. We gave out 100 Baby Bell cheeses. We gave out Nellie's Candies bars. So shout out to all these brands and the vegans who helped out, and all the pre-vegans who showed up. One guy was headed into the bar with his friends, and he said, I'm vegan, thank you. I didn't know what I was going to eat in there. But they wanted to watch the game together, so they were going to go to this bar that's right there in Santa Monica.
I love it.
You may not be able to organize and make something like that happen, but maybe you literally are watching a film and you're sharing it with people. Like you sit down and you're sad and you watch The End of Medicine, or some of the films we talked about, The Game Changers. You Are What You Eat on Netflix, stuff that you've seen on Unchainedtv for free. And you're like, I'm just going to share this with 10 people. I watched this movie. It was so fun. Or whatever it is that could be your clickable activism. You don't have to leave your house. Or maybe you go live on your own personal socials and you're cooking a meal. You're showing how to make chickpea tuna. Some people don't know how to do that. They have no idea, but they've maybe heard about it, but they don't know how to do it, right? And reading a recipe is like overwhelming. They're like, forget that. I'm just going to eat tuna salad, right? But you're
right.
You know how to do it. So you go live and send that out to 5 friends. And you're like, hey, look at this dish I made. It's so tasty. Have you ever tried this? Have you ever had it? Have you ever eaten chickpeas? I was not a chickpea eater before I went vegan. How about you out there?
No, I wasn't. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And my dog loves them too. So, but yeah, what you're saying is it doesn't have to be, some giant thing. Every little thing you're doing counts. Every little thing should be celebrated. If you shared half of your chickpea tuna sandwich with a friend at lunch, celebrate that at night. Let's not miss these celebrations. That's why so many of us are depressed and sad. We have to really congratulate ourselves again, like we, pat ourselves on the back. My friend, Pat, thank you for sharing the sandwich. You don't have to, I mean, like at home that night, what happened good? Oh yeah, that happened. Thank you, Susan, for doing that. Right. And thank myself. So we got to acknowledge these tiny little wins, which are powerful.
Gratitude journals are powerful. And it can look like a piece of paper that you just write on. You don't have to have a journal, but you just write out what you're grateful for first thing in the morning. Great way to end the day. What happened that was you're grateful for? Or what are you grateful for? Not even what happened, but what are you grateful for? There's a couple more chats in here that I think are really good. Like, I think the main problem is that humanity, okay, yeah, leave that one there, but I'm going to read one.
Okay.
The main problem is that humanity can't step in a prehistoric cave. Technical gadgets are not enough. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I like that.
I like it too. It's true.
What about this one? You want to read that one?
Okay. I always tell vegans that being vegan is like going through a long, dark tunnel. You both are helping people come out of that dark tunnel. What Mariquita said is so true. They are not ready to accept, so they won't change animal suffering overnight. Right. Yes, everyone is on their own journey. Hate me for it, but it's true. So I allow, because if I don't allow, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to stay up all night, just with my mind fighting life. And I'm not here to fight life. I want to have a good, happy life. I deserve a good, happy life. And while I'm having a good, happy life, I can be a better advocate for animals.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I realized I was the one that was suffering. And I wanted to put my suffering onto others and make them feel bad, and thinking that was going to make them go vegan.
No, you're right. It doesn't make them go vegan. If it doesn't. All it does is, I mean, there are many things it does. It's a deterrent.
Yeah. I thought it was making me feel better by being mean or being like aggressive. It wasn't making me feel better. I was not feeling good. I'll be honest. I was not feeling good. It wasn't, I was gaining weight. I was just sad a lot. And then my husband and I are very well connected. We love a lot of things. We have a lot of things that we love to do together. And I focus on that. And then I focus on that we're going to try a new vegan restaurant or I'm trying a new vegan recipe. And now he has ever since we were in the lockdown, he had to figure out what to eat for lunch at home because we were home. So then he discovered the tofurkey Italian sausages. Loves those. Those are good for a guy. You cut them up into quarters or even smaller, quarters. And then you onions, peppers, mushrooms in a pan, saute it all up, throw those in, pasta sauce, and any kind of noodle. I mean, that's a dish. And make some garlic bread with vegan butter, or even don't even use butter, just put the olive oil on it. Oh, make a nice Italian salad.
My boyfriend loves those too. We'll go camping and we'll take those sausages, and they're wonderful. Nobody would know the difference.
My son loves them. And you can make them in like a hot dog too. Like put them in a good juicy bun with relish and grilled onions on there and make some cheese melt.
Right. I know. So yeah, I love it.
On that note, let's go eat some delicious, kind, compassionate food from plants. Eat plants, right? Eat more plants. We're going to head on over, check out Plant-Based in the Burbz, y'all.
With Sherry. Sherry, what's Sherry's last name?
Sherry Johnson. So we worked at a gym together, women's gym. She's still a trainer. I gave up that career, but I used to teach women classes, group fit classes, really fun, all kinds. And then we started this because we both went vegan and we were at a juice bar together. And somebody said, the guy who owned it's like, you two are fun. So he started filming us. And that was in 2016. And now we have our own show on Unchainedtv. And we have a YouTube channel. And we have Instagram. We go live on Instagram every week. And those interviews are on there with thought leaders and change makers from the vegan space. It's really cool. So, yeah. And last thing, I definitely want to just give a shout out to the Plant-Based Treaty. You can sign and endorse it. You can, if you know anyone in the government, to have the government sign. Edinburgh, the government there signed, and other countries all over the world have signed to endorse the plant-based treaty. They have a full take action. So plant-based treaty is huge. You can go check that on social as well. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, everyone, thanks. And please subscribe. Check out everything Paige is saying, her Instagram. And if you want coaching one-on-one, if you're struggling, I do that. I also do group coaching. Starting in April, we're going to do a 4-week, a short, very packed, fulfilled, packed with energy and power, getting over these beliefs of I'm not worthy, or I'm not enough, right? And these are crippling us. So it's time to take back our power for ourselves first, and then to shine on the world. So anyway, y'all, thanks so much. I love this. And Cassandra's saying thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. Facebook user, whoever you are, thank you so much, Cassandra and Susan, everyone else on the replay. If you have questions, please let us know. Thank you, Paige. This has been very joyful and very insightful.
And we'll be back again sometime. Not sure if it'll be next week, but sometime soon. I'd love to come on again. It was so much fun talking with you and sharing with you and exchanging ideas. And if you want the coaching, you're going to go to
you can go to email me, Mariquita Solis at coaching@gmail.com. Just DM me. I'm everywhere. You'll find me. DM me. I'm pretty easy to find. Give me, tell me, I want to, even if you don't want coaching, come on, talk to me. I love y'all. I have Empowered Vegans Facebook group. So I'll see you there.
Bye, everyone. Peace and plants. And we'll see you next time. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks again.